When life gets busy, making dinner can feel like a chore you just don't have time for. But my next guest says a well-stocked freezer is the trick to making fast, nourishing meals full of flavor. And today we are sharing a few surprising benefits of cooking with frozen food, as well as a recipe for teriyaki shrimp and a broccoli stir fry made from a few frozen favorites. Joining me through the screen is registered dietitian nutritionist Liz Weiss. Liz, good to see you again.
Great to see you.
So it's Frozen Food Month. I mean, who knew? I think we sometimes forget about the freezer section.
Yeah, there's a lot to celebrate when it comes to frozen foods. And as a registered dietitian, I always have a well-stocked freezer because we know that frozen food is good for the health of our bodies and also the health of the planet. So many benefits.
Yeah, I do think oftentimes I buy a lot of fresh and it goes bad too soon. And so this kind of solves that problem. But you also say there are other benefits.
Yeah, so frozen foods are so nutritious. Frozen produce, for example, just as nutritious as fresh, sometimes even more nutritious. And if you think about the latest freezing technologies, think of them as nature's pause button. They lock in nutrition and flavor, freshness and quality. So many benefits there. Also, less food waste because frozen foods have a long shelf life and you only use what you need. So you waste less. Good for the planet, good for the pocketbook. You're not wasting money. And of course, they're so convenient and so versatile.
Yeah, a lot of good reasons. So tell me, are there a few dietitian favorites you always keep in your freezer?
Ooh, so many. Well, frozen fruits and veggies, frozen berries, frozen broccoli. I've been very into frozen sliced mushrooms lately, believe it or not. We've got frozen grains like frozen brown rice. You can buy a frozen cauliflower rice, and then meals, things like salmon burgers, meatballs, so many options.
Yeah, I know. I recently just learned about frozen avocado. I had no idea, but what a great way. I think maybe you taught me about that. Let's talk about all the meal ideas that you love making with frozen ingredients and maybe a few pantry staples too. You have a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, for example, you can make a smoothie, like a fruit smoothie with frozen berries, and then you can add soy milk or regular milk, some orange juice, a little bit of yogurt. So you're kind of mixing and matching. You can take frozen meatballs, whether they're veggie meatballs, and then you can have, say, frozen green beans on the side, and then add a little pasta sauce to those meatballs. And then you can serve it with the frozen rice, for example. So there's so many ways you can just mix and match what's already in your freezer, your fridge, and your pantry. But lean on that freezer because, again, so many benefits, and those foods are always at the ready for you.
Okay, so you picked one of your favorites to make for us today. Tell me about this teriyaki shrimp and broccoli stir fry.
Okay, so I'm getting my skillet on here. So I'm using frozen shrimp and frozen broccoli for this dish. Now, I buy the frozen shrimp that's already peeled and deveined, and so I don't have to peel it myself. I buy them either pre-cooked or raw, like I'm using today, and I'm cooking that in a skillet here. We want to get more veggies into our diet, so I love to use frozen broccoli florets. And so what I've got here is in my skillet, I've already cooked, actually. I've cooked the broccoli already with some olive oil and frozen garlic and ginger. You can buy that already frozen and chopped up for you. So that's already been cooked, just a couple of minutes because we want those veggies to stay nice and crisp. Now I've got my shrimp in here, cooked that for a few minutes in olive oil, and then I'm going to add my broccoli right back into that skillet. And then I'm going to lean on a pantry staple, which is teriyaki sauce, and I've added a little bit of cornstarch. And what this is going to do is it's going to thicken our sauce as it cooks. So I'm going to add the teriyaki right in along with that cornstarch, and then we're just going to let this kind of cook and bubble for a couple of minutes. And once this is all combined and nice and bubbly, we're going to add it to our frozen rice. Now, you can buy frozen brown rice, you can buy frozen white or basmati rice, but it's a pouch, very simple. Cooked it, added it to a platter, and then we're just going to give this a minute just to get nice and bubbly and heated through.
Now, Liz, I know some people will say when they cook frozen vegetables, sometimes they get mushy. Do you have any tips for us on that?
I sure do. So we don't want mushy veggies, right? We want the crisp, tender veggie. So a couple of tips. The first is that when you're thawing your veggies, I'm going to use broccoli florets as an example. You want to thaw them either overnight in the fridge and then drain them. Let any liquid drain out, or just let them thaw at room temperature. Again, drain them. And then you can either roast them just like you would with your fresh veggies, olive oil, salt, and pepper on a baking sheet. That's say 425, kind of give them a toss halfway through, maybe 15, 20 minutes, or you can cook them like I did today in a skillet, just about 3 minutes. And because I've drained the water out, they just stay so crispy. Don't thaw them in the microwave. That's your mushy problem, okay? So you want to just thaw them, be patient, and let them thaw ahead. Let them thaw overnight in the fridge if you can.
Yeah, you read my mind. I thought it's because we're impatient. We just want to do it fast. Do it overnight. Yeah. That's your tip. And then after you stir those all in, when do we add the rice?
Okay, so I like to put the rice on a platter, just like I've done here. And then I'm going to take my cooked veggies and, well, let's see if I can do this. So you can see here, we've got this beautiful skillet filled with our cooked shrimp. And look how bright and gorgeous that broccoli is. So nutritious. And then we're just going to very carefully, I don't know if I can do this, but very carefully add the cooked veggies and shrimp with that nice sauce right over that rice. So it's so simple. I knew I was going to lose a shrimp along the way.
Nutritious. I love this idea. Liz, where can we get more of your recipes?
Oh, sure. You can head on over to my website, lizshealthytable.com, or you know what? Follow me on Instagram at Liz Weiss, because I post all sorts of ideas there. And then for more on frozen food, you can check out frozenfoodadvantage.org.
Okay.
Or no, is it frozen? Wait a minute. Frozenadvantage.org.
Frozenadvantage.org. Frozenadvantage.org. Got it. Thank you, Liz.